Trump just visited the UK, and at a joint press conference with UK PM Starmer, Trump rattled off a string of debunked claims. Fact checkers say almost none of it. We're talking about misleading information, lies. None of it held up, Dad.
Yeah, this is the guy who claims we should have only accurate history, right? Nothing biased, nothing misleading. And just in one press conference, he issued a series of whoppers, and not just on small things.
Not Burger King whoppers.
Yeah, no. I'd much rather have Burger King, although I think Trump prefers McDonald's, but I'm not sure. Any rate, these are not on small issues. And, it's totally typical of Trump. I'll go through some of them. The fact checkers have totally exploded them. Again, what is it now? How many years since the 220 election?
5.
Trump said, quote, "We won in 220 big."
He said that?
He said that right here in print.
In the UK, like yesterday.
In the UK.
Oh, my God.
In the UK. How many cases did he file? Close to 90. How many did he win?
None.
None of any consequence. What did his own attorney general say? It is bullshit. What did his only head of cybersecurity say? Most secure and fair election. Who lost his bar license for lying about the election, Sam?
Rudy
Giuliani.
No, Rudy
perpetrating this lie.
No, Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah. How much did Fox News have to pay?
All right, we know all this.
Yeah, this is insane. Current inflation. We've already solved inflation.
Oh, cool.
We've solved prices.
Sick.
Guess what?
What?
Inflation is just as high as it was at the end of the Biden term, maybe even a little bit higher. 2.9% in August. Biden-era inflation. We inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. Not even close. The worst inflation was right after the pandemic, 9.1%. The actual record in the U.S. is nearly 3 times that, 23.7%.
Damn. When was that?
A little bit off Trump.
When was that?
1920, and it was double digits during the late 1970s as well.
Yikes.
Trump said China is paying a very large tariff now to the United States. It's U.S. importers, not China, who make the tariff payments to the U.S. government. And these importers often pass on the cost to guess who?
Me.
You and me. U.S. aid to Ukraine. The United States is into that war for $350 billion. Well, the fact checkers have closely checked that. And again, he's off by about 200%. That's all. The U.S. has allocated about $135 billion to the Ukraine. He says under Biden, 25 million people entered the country illegally without being vetted. In fact, there were under 11 million encounters with migrants, many of whom were legitimate, seeking asylum in the U.S. Nothing close to 25 million. He says under Biden, prisons from the Congo were being released into the U.S. prisons, from Venezuela and many other countries pouring into the United States.
What? I don't even understand that.
Yeah, basically he's saying the dregs of the world are all pouring into the United States. Experts who actually know something about these 3 countries says Trump's claims are absolutely false. Trump once again claimed that House Speaker Nancy Pelosi rejected his offer of 10,000 National Guard troops to guard the Capitol on January 6, 2021. A double falsehood, Sam. One, there was no such order. The top commanders testified we never got any such order. In fact, Trump sat for 3 hours and watched the mayhem, never called the military, never called the FBI, never called the National Guard. Mike Pence had to do all that. Second part of the big lie is even if there was such an order, did Nancy Pelosi have any authority to countermand it? No. She has no authority over the District of Columbia National Guard or any National Guard. This is one press conference. The January 6th committee. Trump repeated his false claim that the January 6th committee found out many things that were very bad, so they deleted and destroyed all information. In fact, they had a voluminous report and an even more voluminous release of information. No indication that they actually suppressed or destroyed anything. And of course, he said, we settled the war between Azerbaijan and Albania. Was there any such war? No. There was a war between Azerbaijan and Armenia, but Albania had nothing to do with it. And I got to bring this up. I'm not sure it was at this same press conference, but he was talking about, these extrajudicial killings of alleged drug ships just on his say-so. And he said, we're doing a great job. Last year, there were 300 million drug deaths. What's the population of the United States, Sam?
340 million.
Yeah, so basically nobody's left, right?
What I don't understand is, especially in relation to this Jimmy Kimmel stuff, right? The right wing and MAGA are so angry at Jimmy Kimmel for maybe being misleading. Meanwhile, they support one of the biggest liars and one of the most misleading humans to ever run this country. I mean, it just boggles my mind.
That's why I said hypocrisy. But my book explains it. Conservative at the core. Hey, you guys need to get out and buy it. We need to pick up the sales on it.
Yeah, pick it up.
Pick it up. It's not expensive. And then you can ask me about it. It explains how this is all the culmination of 100 years of conservative history.
The issue is that the American people voted in Trump even though they knew all this about him.
All of this was known. Everything that Trump has done was predictable in the past. In fact, if you follow the show, you know how many times we talked about it before Trump took office. Can you hold my phone here, my mic?
This is not a phone. This is a microphone.
Oh, microphone.
Yes. You need a drink. But they can just keep getting away with supporting Trump and then being mad about any left-winger who even slightly, says whatever, whatever they're trying to twist about Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know.
Yeah, there are so many.
They can get away
things.
with it.
Yeah,
because Trump keeps getting voted back into office.
You know how perplexed we were when we saw Trump win.
Yeah.
And, I have no sympathy for the so-called remorseful Trump voters. You knew what you were voting for. This notion, we didn't know, we didn't think this would happen. Nonsense. If you paid even the slightest bit of attention, you knew. Thanks for watching our video. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and become a member today.